What makes a true leader? What does it really mean to be a leader? Some people think leadership is all about being in charge, giving orders, and making others listen. But real leadership is something much deeper. It's not about control, but about influence. A true leader doesn't need to force others to follow them. Instead, people choose to follow because they trust the leader, feel inspired, and believe in their vision. Authority might make people obey, but influence makes people want to stay, work harder, and give their best. Think of two different leaders. One leads by strict rules, watching over everyone, making all the decisions. The other leader listens to their team, encourages ideas, supports growth, and shows trust. Over time, the first team may feel stressed or limited, while the second team grows stronger, more creative, and loyal. Why? Because the second leader uses influence, not just authority. Being influential isn't something that just happens. It's something you build. A strong leader pays attention to their people. They understand what drives them, what challenges them, and what helps them thrive. Leadership is a relationship. It's about connecting with people, not just controlling them. Self-awareness and vision. One of the most important qualities of a true leader is self-awareness. Knowing your own strengths, weaknesses, and how your actions affect others. Leaders who are self-aware are often humble. They admit when they're wrong, they ask for advice, and they keep learning. This kind of leader earns trust, while someone who acts like they know everything often pushes people away. Great leaders also have a clear vision. They can paint a picture of the future and get others excited to be part of it. This isn't just being hopeful, it's being smart, forward-thinking, and willing to take action. People don't follow because of empty words. They follow because they see the leader has a real plan. But vision alone isn't enough. Leaders need to show purpose. They need to care about something bigger than themselves, whether it's their team, their community, or a mission. When people feel their leader stands for something meaningful, they feel safe, motivated, and ready to take risks. Fear shuts people down. Purpose lifts them up. Another powerful tool leaders use is storytelling. They don't just give facts and figures. They share stories that people can relate to. These stories make the leader's message clear, memorable, and personal. Stories turn ideas into something real and inspire people to see themselves as part of something important. True leadership isn't something you get once and keep forever. It's a journey, a process of learning, growing, adjusting, and helping others rise too. The best leaders know they'll never stop improving. They ask questions, they listen to feedback, and they focus on serving others, not just being in control. One last thing. Real leaders aren't focused on keeping all the power for themselves. They focus on building new leaders. They teach, trust, and give others chances to lead. That's how real leadership lasts. It spreads, multiplies, and leaves a mark that continues long after the leader is gone. So, the real question isn't, are you a leader? The question is, what kind of leader are you becoming? Will you lead with power or with influence? Will you focus on control or connection? Your answer shapes not only your leadership, but the world around you. When you think about strong leadership, you might picture someone who is loud, confident, and always knows what to do. But here's the truth. Real leaders don't always have all the answers. What makes them stand out is their ability to stay calm, think clearly, and help others do their best, even when things are uncertain. One of the biggest mistakes leaders make is thinking they need to control everything. This often leads to stress, frustration, and unhappy teams. True leaders understand they don't need to have control over every detail. Instead, they focus on trusting their people and letting them take responsibility. Think of it this way. A leader is like the captain of a ship. The captain gives direction and keeps everyone focused on the goal, but they trust their crew to handle their own jobs. If the captain tries to do everything alone, the ship won't go far. Leadership built on trust and connection. Another key part of leadership is being approachable. People naturally follow leaders they feel comfortable talking to. Leaders who listen without judging, who are open to feedback, and who make others feel seen and valued. It's not about showing off or acting like you're better than everyone else. It's about showing you care. This is why communication skills are so important. A leader's words can lift people up or tear them down. Simple things like saying, "Thank you," giving honest feedback, or asking, "What do you think?" can make a huge difference. The way a leader speaks and listens builds trust, respect, and loyalty. Of course, not every day will be easy. Leaders face tough choices, unexpected problems, and criticism. But what sets a true leader apart is how they handle these moments. Do they blame others when things go wrong, or do they take responsibility? Do they panic, or do they stay steady and look for solutions? Great leaders know that failure is part of the journey. They don't hide from mistakes. They learn from them. Every failure becomes a lesson, a chance to grow stronger and smarter. And when a leader admits they've made a mistake, it actually earns them more respect. Why? Because it shows they're honest, human, and always improving. Another powerful leadership skill is adaptability. The world is always changing. New challenges, new technologies, new ideas, it never stops. Leaders who are stuck in their ways get left behind. But those who stay flexible, curious, and open-minded are the ones who thrive. They're not afraid to try new things or listen to fresh perspectives. One more thing that all true leaders have in common: courage. It's not about being fearless. It's about doing what's right even when it's hard. Leaders sometimes have to make unpopular decisions. They have to stand up for their team, their values, and their vision. Courage means speaking up, taking action, and staying true to your principles no matter what. In the end, leadership is not about being perfect. It's not about knowing everything or having all the power. It's about being real, staying strong, and helping others succeed. People don't follow a leader because of their title. They follow because they trust them, believe in them, and feel supported by them. Ask yourself, how do you treat people when no one is watching? Do you lift others up, or do you pull them down? Do you lead with kindness, strength, and purpose? These are the questions that shape the kind of leader you'll become. Let's dive even deeper into what makes people willingly follow a true leader. One of the most important traits is something simple yet often overlooked: consistency. People need to know they can rely on their leader, not just sometimes, but all the time. A leader who changes their mind every day or treats people differently based on their mood quickly loses trust. Consistency builds confidence. When a leader's words match their actions, people feel safe, knowing exactly what to expect. That's why good leaders have strong values. These values, like honesty, fairness, responsibility, are like a compass. They help the leader make decisions, even when the path isn't clear. Leaders who stick to their values show others that no matter how difficult things get, they won't cut corners or betray trust. But it's not enough to quietly hold these values inside. True leaders live their values out loud. They lead by example. If they want their team to work hard, they work hard first. If they expect honesty, they speak honestly first. They don't just talk about respect. They show it in every conversation, every decision. Another key part of leadership is vision. People want to feel like they're part of something meaningful, something bigger than themselves. A real leader doesn't just focus on today's tasks. They paint a clear picture of where the team is going and why it matters. They help everyone see the bigger goal and understand how their individual work fits into that larger purpose. Without vision, a team can feel lost, like they're just going through the motions. But when the leader gives a clear direction, something powerful happens. People feel motivated, connected, and excited to contribute. They know they're building something important and they want to give their best effort. However, vision alone is not enough. Leaders must also know how to listen. Listening is more than hearing words. It's about understanding people's thoughts, concerns, and ideas. Good leaders don't assume they know everything. They ask questions, pay attention, and invite feedback. They understand that the people around them often have insights and talents that can help the whole group succeed. Listening shows respect. It tells people, "You matter. Your voice is important." And when people feel heard, they are more likely to stay loyal, take initiative, and give their honest input, even when it's hard to hear. But leadership isn't just about guiding others. It's also about taking care of yourself. A leader who burns out, who's always stressed and overwhelmed, won't be able to support their team well. That's why good leaders set boundaries, manage their time wisely, and make sure they stay mentally strong. Self-care isn't selfish. It's part of leadership. A calm, focused leader creates a calm, focused team. On the other hand, a leader who is scattered or exhausted spreads that same energy to everyone around them. Lastly, one of the most powerful signs of real leadership is gratitude. Strong leaders never forget that their success depends on the people around them. They take time to say thank you, to recognize effort, and to celebrate both big wins and small steps forward. Gratitude creates a positive environment where people feel appreciated and valued. At the end of the day, leadership is not about standing above others. It's about walking beside them, lifting them up, and showing them what's possible. True leaders don't need to force people to follow. They inspire people to join them willingly. Leadership is often thought of as something grand: a big title, a powerful speech, a crowd of followers. But in truth, leadership shows up in small, everyday moments. It's the quiet decision to help someone who's struggling, even when no one's watching. It's the steady hand during a crisis, when everyone else feels unsure. It's the ability to bring people together, not by force, but by making them feel seen, respected, and part of something meaningful. One powerful thing all great leaders understand is this: leadership is not about you, it's about others. This mindset shift changes everything. Instead of asking, how can I get people to do what I want? The true leader asks, how can I serve my team? How can I help them succeed? This is what's often called servant leadership, putting your people first, removing obstacles, and giving them the tools, support, and confidence they need. It might seem simple, but when a leader leads this way, people notice. They feel valued, trusted, and motivated to give their best effort. Not because they have to, but because they want to. Another often overlooked skill is patience. Growth doesn't happen overnight. Teams don't become strong instantly. Real leadership requires the ability to stick with people, support them through mistakes, and give them space to learn. Quick fixes may seem tempting, but lasting success comes from steady, patient guidance. Alongside patience, a true leader knows the importance of feedback. But feedback isn't about criticizing or pointing fingers. It's about offering clear, honest, and helpful insights that help others improve. It's delivered with kindness and a genuine desire to help, not to tear down, but to build up. Here's something else strong leaders know: they don't always need to be the smartest person in the room. In fact, the best leaders surround themselves with people who have different strengths, skills, and ideas. They're not threatened by others' talents. They welcome them. They understand that diversity of thought makes the team stronger, more creative, and more successful. And when things go wrong, as they sometimes will, a true leader does something rare and powerful. They take responsibility. They don't point fingers or make excuses. Instead, they ask, what could I have done differently? How can we learn from this? Taking responsibility builds trust and shows that the leader cares more about the team's growth than about protecting their ego. There's one more key trait to mention here: confidence. But not the kind of confidence that comes from pretending to be perfect or never making mistakes. Real confidence is quieter. It comes from knowing your values, trusting your team, and staying focused on your purpose, even when things get tough. A confident leader doesn't need to shout or show off. Their calm, steady presence gives others the courage to step up and believe in themselves. Confidence is contagious. To sum it up, leadership isn't about titles, power, or controlling others. It's about serving others, being patient and consistent, listening deeply, leading by example, taking responsibility, welcoming different voices, building trust and connection, helping others become leaders too. When you lead this way, people don't follow out of obligation. They follow because they believe in you, your vision, and the way you make them feel. Leading through change, conflict, and uncertainty. Now, let's talk about something every leader faces sooner or later: challenges. No leader has a smooth road forever. There will be setbacks. Plans may fail. People may doubt. That's why a leader's true strength often shows not when things are easy, but when things are hard. One of the biggest challenges is dealing with change. Change is uncomfortable. It pushes people out of their routines. It can create fear and uncertainty. But great leaders don't avoid change. They guide people through it. They communicate clearly, explaining why change is needed and how it will benefit everyone in the long run. They listen to concerns, answer questions, and stay calm even when others feel stressed. Most importantly, they lead by staying flexible themselves, showing that adapting is not something to fear. It's something to embrace. Another challenge is handling conflict. Disagreements happen in every team, every organization. Poor leaders either ignore conflict, hoping it goes away, or react harshly, making things worse. Strong leaders face conflict directly but respectfully. They encourage honest conversations, find common ground, and focus on solutions, not blame. And perhaps the greatest challenge of all is the one within: self-doubt. Even the best leaders sometimes question themselves. Am I making the right decision? Do people really trust me? But here's the secret: it's normal to feel this way. What separates strong leaders is how they handle these doubts. Instead of letting fear control them, they remind themselves of their values, their vision, and the trust others have placed in them. They keep going, knowing that courage doesn't mean the absence of fear. It means moving forward despite it. Now, as we wrap up this chapter, there's one final idea to leave you with. Leadership isn't a finish line. It's a lifelong journey. Every day you get the chance to lead, not just at work, but in your family, community, and personal life. Each conversation, each decision, each action is an opportunity to lead with influence, not force. With empathy, not ego. With purpose, not pride. The question is not, will I be perfect? Because no leader ever is. The real question is, will I keep growing, learning, and lifting others along the way? If the answer is yes, then you're already on the path of a true leader. Quick action exercise. Here's a simple exercise to help you begin thinking like a true leader. Identify one person in your life or workplace you want to support. Instead of offering advice or instructions, ask them one open-ended question. What do you need to succeed right now? Then just listen. Don't interrupt. Pay attention. After listening, think about one small action you can take to show trust or support. Maybe it's giving them space to handle something their way. Maybe it's offering encouragement without stepping in. Notice how this shift feels, not just for them, but for you. Leadership starts with simple actions.